All right, guys, welcome back to another Animal Adventures with Jordan on Tuesday and Thursdays at noon. And today we're going to feature our Dromedary Camels, which are the one-hump camels. Now, you'll remember one of our first videos was actually our Bactrian camels that were the two-hump camels. So today you're meeting some of the larger camels on our property, but still they stay a little bit smaller than the Bactrians when full grown. So first things first, let us introduce our camels. Big Mac's the camel, and many of the people that follow our story and follow Animal Adventure know that Big Mac's was the first animal that came to Animal Adventure, and this year we are celebrating, I believe it is his 17th birthday. Now behind us back here, peeking out of the new shed over there, is our buddy Remington, or Remy as we call him. Now Remy joined us, I believe it was 2 seasons ago. He's a retired ride camel from a zoo down in Pittsburgh, or the Pittsburgh area. And he is actually even older. I think Remington is now about 24, 25 years old. But that's not that bad of a thing because in captive management programs, your dromedary camels can easily obtain about 40 years in age. So certainly they start to show some wear and tear being a big animal, but by all means they can have another decade without any issue. So now the dromedary camels, they inhabited the wilds of Africa and the Middle East, but nowadays dromedary camels are all domesticated. Now these guys are known as the ships of the deserts because they travel in large pack lines and they carry different items through the trade programs throughout the Middle East and throughout Africa, and are now a beast of burden in essence, being that the fact that they help humans to transport different things and also to travel. In Africa though, or excuse me, in Australia, they've actually become an invasive species. There are feral, not wild, the term is feral, meaning they were introduced and now wild there, not naturally occurring, feral camels that do run throughout Australia. They're relatively a bit of an issue because the Australia climate is ideal for dromedary camels, and they're actually prospering, doing quite well and reproducing, but with that occurring, they're taking natural resources away from Australia's prized and protected wildlife that's there. So now, let's talk about the size of our dromedary camels. Now the average dromedary camel stands at about 6 feet tall, that's right about here, up to about 8 feet tall. But this big guy here, Max the camel, stands somewhere up around 9 feet tall. He is one of the largest dromedary camels you'll probably ever see. We have many other animal park owners and zoo directors come here, and every one of them that meets Big Max says, "Boy, that's a big camel." All right? So we spell his name with 2 X's, double XL, right? Now, in addition to being a very tall, very large camel, he's also, say hi to Danielle, very nice, buddy. He is also a very large in stature camel. On average, camels stand about 1,000 to 1,500 pounds. Big Max here is somewhere around 2,000 pounds. He's just about 1 ton. He's absolutely huge. Remy, on the other hand, is more of your average size camel. Now let's talk about some of their neat adaptations. The first thing we're going to talk about are their feet. The feet are very large, circular, flat, and calloused. Now those feet allow our camels to walk on hot sand without obviously burning their feet. And it also allows them to spread or disperse their weight out so they don't sink down into that desert sand. Another neat adaptation you'll see, let's see if we can get Big Max over here to show you. Come on, big guy. Come on, big guy. You guys over here say, "Come on, Max." Come on, Max. Oh, come on. All right. The next adaptation we're going to talk about are those big calluses you see on his knees. He has 2 large calluses on his front knees, 2 large calluses on the back knees. Now those are like camel sandals, all right? You go to the beach, you wear sandals on your feet so you don't burn them in the hot sand. Same thing with him when he lays down. Those callous knees protect his body so it doesn't singe or become uncomfortable. Another neat thing about it though is also this big circular callus you'll see under his chest. That is what we call the pedestal. I'll hit it real quick so you can hear it. That big flat circle down there is exactly as defined in its name, a pedestal. He rests that right into the sand, and again, that keeps the upper body off the sand, protects him from becoming singed by the hot sand, but also lifts that body off the ground just a couple inches, which allows airflow underneath of him, which is a nice cooling mechanism. Now the next thing, let's bring him forward here. Get on, Nate. All right, come on. Now the next things we want to show you are these big, beautiful eyelashes. Very big, very thick. He's got double sets of them. Ladies, be jealous, all right? Now the purpose of those big, thick eyelashes is to protect them during sandstorms. When dust and debris is flying around, they can squint their eyes. Go ahead, squint your eyes. Squint, 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 squint. And when he does that, it keeps all the sand and debris out of his eyes. And another neat thing to help him during those sandstorms are his nostrils. His nostrils can seal shut just like this. All right, so go ahead, say just like this. All right, and when they seal shut again, it prevents that sand and debris from blowing into the nasal cavity. Other neat adaptations, you notice that Max is here on just about the back end of his shedding process. Our dromedary camels every winter grow very, stay with me Danielle, very thick fleeces. All right, now these protect them when it gets cold. Yes, our camels can sustain a cold winter in upstate New York without any issue because also the desert gets extremely cold. They adapt, they evolve, and these thick coats protect them so they don't experience any cold discomfort or any sort of distress from the climate change. Now, other neat things about them is that we've told you he's a big boy. He's massive. So when our veterinarian, Dr. Tim, has to come and work on Big Max, we have to have a little bit of control over him to make sure it's a safe environment for him to work around him, but also for our keeper staff. So we've taught Max a few things. He knows how to start and stop walking on command. We've taught him how to cush, which means lay down and camel talk. And we've also taught him how to moonwalk. Would you like to see a camel do the moonwalk?
Yes.
All right. Let's see if we can get Big Max back over here. Come on, Big Max. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Now keep on coming. He's waiting. This bucket of carrots certainly doesn't help sitting there either. All right, come on, let's go. There's about a 5-gallon bucket of carrots sitting here, and that's where he's stationed. He knows what's coming next.
So it's about 50 carrots instead of chips.
All right, oh, here comes Remy now. He knows. Please. All right, come on, Max. Remy, go on over that way, bud. All right. Stop. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. And pucker up. All right, now, another neat adaptation that they have is that their lips are extremely coarse. They're just like sandpaper. The reason for that is in their natural ranges or where they're hanging out, what do they eat? Dry vegetation. And a lot of that is very thorny bushes, all right? Those coarse lips, they pull any of the leaves off they want, but if they have to consume the thorns on that branch, those lips grind everything up and prevent them from becoming too pokey and not hurting the inside of the mouth. So it's another neat adaptation, and you're all gonna get to feel those lips when you feed our camels here in a couple more minutes. Now, a few last things about the adaptations of these guys. That hump on their back, that big hump is filled with? Ah, good. We have some educated camel people here. It's filled with fat. It's actually a fat reserve. Many people think it's water, but that fat is a reserve. If you ever come across a camel with a thin, small hump, that means they're essentially skinny. They're without food, okay? That is a nice reserve. It shows a nice, big, healthy camel. Now, in the wild, or in the deserts when they're traveling, they can take that fat, burn it and turn it, not only into sustainable subsistence, all right, just like food would be, but it also can turn into moisture for them, all right? And that's what can allow them to go up to 15 days in 100-degree temperatures without taking a drop of water. All right. If it goes a little even higher than the high 90s, low 100s, they can go about 5 to 7 days without drinking. It is said that they can lose 30% of their body moisture without having any ill effect. If you were to lose 30% of your body moisture, you would be in serious trouble. All right, so on that note, I think we're going to wrap up our dromedary camel talk for the day. I know Danielle's fighting camels and fences and everything else. So guys, thank you for tuning in again. We'll see you on Thursday. We'll post another video at noon. What animal will it be? We just don't know yet. So thank you guys. We'll see you on Thursday.